So welcome everyone. I'm Molly. I'm the Individual Artist Program Director at RISCA, and I'm just going to hand it directly over to Anthony. Thank you all for coming today. I hope this is useful. One thing I will say is we'll ask you to hold your questions for the end. There will be plenty of time for Q&A, so you can drop your questions in the chat. We'll get to them at the end or hold till the end, whatever works for you. Anthony, take it away.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Molly, for the introduction. My name is Anthony Aquino. I'm the Program Service Officer for the MBE program, and with me is
Anna Pimentel, and I am the DBE and ACDBE Program Services Officer for the same office, the Division of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion.
And don't worry, we're gonna tell you what all the BEs means. We have a lot of BEs, MBE, DBE, ACDBE, BBE. So don't worry, we're gonna get to those
all the B's
in a minute. So jumping right in to honor your time, we're gonna start talking about our office and what we do and the programs that we do. And like my colleague said, we work for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We have several programs that might be of interest for folks like you. The MBE, which I'm in charge of, is Minority Business Enterprise. Also, we have the Women Business Enterprise. Anna, my colleague Anna, she takes care of the DBE, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or the ACDBE, which is Airport Concessionaire Disadvantaged Business Enterprise.
Long name.
And then that's why I love the acronyms, because imagine having to say that 20 times back to back. And then we have the Veteran Business Enterprise, which is the BBE, or the SDBBE, which is Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise. So we're gonna jump right in. Something that we like to clarify, because some folks get confused with the programs at municipal levels as opposed to the state level. Some municipalities, for example, Providence, they have separate programs, separate goals for women business enterprise and minority business enterprise. We do not. Everything women business enterprise and minority business enterprise, they fall under the same umbrella, and you have to even fill out the same application. In our office, we promote, right, the compliance, we promote the participation, we promote certification for business to get access to this program, to get certified and get access to state funding. The minority business enterprise is a business owned by a person of the minority group, whether it's a woman, whether it's a Black, Hispanic, Asian, and others, Portuguese and others. And in order to qualify, the business has to be owned and controlled by a group of these minority business, of these minority groups. And once you get certified, you get access to state funding. And what that means is, don't get too excited. What that means is the certification gives you a key. It only gives you a key so you can start bidding in these projects. How this program came to be is that about 10 years ago, the legislation passed a law that said that at least 10% of all the goods and services that was acquired by state money, it had to have a minimum of 10% participation of minority business enterprises. And later on, we can, in the Q&A, we can go deeper about what that means. But the 10% is the minimum that the law requires, meaning if there is a construction project, 10% has to go to minority businesses that are in the construction industry. If there is, if the if the state is buying, I don't know, let's say catering for 15,000 people, is how many employees we have right now, then 10% of that should go to a catering company that's owned by a minority. And now I'm gonna pass it to Anna.
Thank you, Anthony. So, and later on, we can also, just to go a little bit back on what my colleague Anthony was saying, we can also go into a little bit deeper into the list. We have a list on our website of the minority groups, because I know that some of you may be asking yourself what that group entitles, and we have a list of those on our website as well. And, you know, includes a big list, including Native Americans as well. So we can, you know, discuss that and talk about the numbers of that. And also, now let's talk about the DBE. So my program is a DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and also the ACDBE, ERPA Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And let me apologize, I'm a little bit sick here, so my voice is a little bit raspy, so I apologize for that. So, so the programs are very similar in a sense of the criterias. So we usually encourage people to apply, when you apply, to apply for both certifications. And when I say both, is because you only need 2 applications for all of our programs. And we can talk about that as well in our upcoming slides also. So when you apply for DBE, you can apply also for ACDBE, is one application for both programs. So the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise and the ACDBE were both federal programs that were created by the U.S. Department of Transportation and pursuant to the Law 49 CFR Part 26. And they were designed to provide individuals with small businesses who were socially and economically at disadvantage. Basically the same idea of the MBE program. It's basically for people who were socially at disadvantage, economically and socially, and, you know, to receive the same fair and equal opportunity to compete on programs. But this one was specifically for transportation programs nationwide. So this program has reciprocity among other states. So you can utilize this certification throughout the United States, because this one is a federal certification. In comparison with the MBE, you will have to apply to every single state if you have your MBE certification. Rather than this one, you can just take this one to any other state. But this one is specifically for, you know, contracts within the transportation, U.S. DOT transportation program. So you can utilize this one for RIDA, the Rhode Island Department of Transportation, RIPTA, the Rhode Island Public Transportation, and RIA, the Rhode Island Airport Corporation, and the highways, and anything that has to do with transportation in general. And like I said, you can utilize this in any other state. So let's say that you get your certification in Rhode Island for DBE, for example, and then you say that you want to utilize this in another state, you can just take the same certification and just take it and get the interstate and take it to another state, and you'll be able to utilize that there as well. So here are the basic criteria for the certification, and it's the same for all of the certification that we offer. Therefore, we encourage you to apply for all of them at the same time if you qualify for all of the certifications. So the basic criteria is that the firm has to be a for-profit. If you're a nonprofit, you cannot apply for the certification. You have to be 51% owned by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. And in that, we can include what we talked about before, whether you're one of the minority groups, a woman, you know, Hispanic, Black, and we have a list that we can talk about it. It's on our website of the minority groups. The ownership and control must be real, substantial, and continuing. And Anthony can discuss a little bit about that in a minute. In case of a licensed industry, you must have a valid license. So some of the businesses hold a license, others don't. Like if you have a consulting firm, of course, you don't need a license to be a consulting firm. But if you are a contractor, you may need a license to be a contractor. The firm must be a small business concerned and must have been in operation for 6 months. So you must have running your business for 6 months or more before you can apply for the certification. The personal net worth of the applicant may not exceed $1.32 million. The small business should not exceed the cap gross annual income of $28.48 million. And this is for MBE and DBEs and VVEs, but it's different for the ACDBE. For the ACDBE, for one, that is $56.42 million.
And then also you have to be a US citizen or hold a permanent resident alien status. There are a few things that we want to point out, like my colleague Anna said here, that usually are the most confusing one. We found most confusing for our applicants. Wanted to highlight it right now. Number 3, for example, ownership and control must be real, substantial, and continuing. That means that if you are the owner, you have to prove that you know of the business, that your contribution are real and substantial. And I'm going to give you a quick example. I had an applicant that claimed was of the minority group and was the owner of the company, but the only thing that the person did was bookkeeping, and the industry was about cleaning pools, right? So the owner has never cleaned a pool, didn't know how to clean a pool, didn't have any substantial financial contribution. The person paid only $1 for her shares of the company. So what we mean by this is you have to prove that you have either invested a substantial amount of money into your company, which varies for the industry, right? There are people that, for example, if you have an interpreting company, your contribution may be just $1,000 because you still need to get a computer, as opposed to a construction or other industries. But you have to prove that your ownership is real, right, and substantial, and it goes beyond just administrative duties. Number 2, the 51% owned by a minority is also interesting one, because this can be accomplished by one individual or multiple individuals. This applies usually more in the cases of corporations. Let's say we have a corporation where we have a board of 5 members. In order to fulfill the 51%, that corporation, at least 3 people of that board has to be part of minority or disadvantaged, economically disadvantaged groups. So altogether, their shares have to sum up to 51% of or more. But they also have to prove that those 3 represent significant control of the company. They can make decisions, financial decisions, hiring, firing decisions, etc. And in a future workshop that we have, that you're gonna get the links today, so you can sign up, we're gonna be able to go even deeper in this, because we actually gonna go through every question in the application. So I really encourage you right now to start thinking to separate that day and to register today for that workshop. And the last one that I want to talk about is number 6, the personal net worth. This one is tricky because some individuals believe that this program, the only requirement for this program is just being part of a minority group, but there is a financial cap. If your net worth is above $1.32 million, $320,000, then you do not qualify for that. But this net worth, what does it mean, net worth? That we take all of your active, your assets, and all of your liabilities, we subtract one each other, and whatever is left is your net worth. But also, we do not calculate your main residence. The equity in your main residence is not calculated. And we take 40% off, roughly, of any retirement accounts that you may have. So don't get discouraged if your house exceed that value. If it's your main residence, it's not gonna factor into the calculations. Right? Anna, benefits of the certification.
Great benefits, I have to say. So having a certification has great benefits. You know, it's going to help you tap into many private and you know, state programs. So when you have a certification, what's going to open up, it's all of the state contracts that we have available for you. Not also the state contracts, also private companies are always looking for MBE companies and DBE companies to be able to fulfill their diversity goals. So for example, we have often companies that call us that are not specifically getting state contracts, but they're asking, you know, well, we're a private company, we're not getting a state contract, but we would like to hire MBE's companies because we would like to fulfill our diversity goals. And, you know, we are an MBE company ourselves, or we would like to fulfill those diversity goals. And that's what we want to do for our company. And we want to feel that we're, you know, helping those smaller companies. And so they go into our, something that we call our directory. And that's something where we're going to add you to. Once you become an MBE certified, we have something called directory, an MBE directory and a DBE directory. And that's where people usually go to when they're searching for an MBE or a DBE firm. And that's where we will add all of your information. And, you know, that's one of the benefits for private sector, but also for other companies that are subcontracting, but you will also be, you can also be a prime, what we call a prime as well. So you will have access to all of those state contracts as well to be able to, you know, get all of you, like you said, Anthony mentioned it before, for the MBE, it's a minimum of 10%. For the DBE, it varies. It can go from 0 to 14% goal. It depends. It's contract driven, basically. So DBE, because it comes from all different directions, we have contracts that may come from DOT, but it may come from FTA, which is the Federal Transit Authorization. They come from all different directions. We have ACDBE contracts that right now, there's a really, I don't know if you've seen it in the news, there's a big contracts that are coming from 10 concessionaires that are happening at the International Airport over there at the TF Green. They're opening 10 food and beverage concessionaires there as well. So there's big opportunities there if you happen to have an ACDBE certification. So it opens up a lot of doors if you were to have it, and it's free. Why not? You know, you don't have to pay for it. I encourage anyone that it's able to apply for it to do it. You don't have to pay any fees. It's a free certification that you will be able to have, and you will be able to bid. Now, the contracts are not going to come to you. You have to bid for it. The only way that they will come to you, if it's like I mentioned, if somebody goes into the directory and they are looking to subcontract you, they're looking to hire you and things like that, because now you're going to belong to a bigger pool. You're going to be part of the directory, MBE, DBE, if you have any of those certifications. And that's how that's going to happen. That's how they're going to contact you. And again, once you make partnerships and once you do a great job there with your company, then you're going to create partnerships and you're going to have people that are going to refer you to other people. And that's how you're going to, you know, get your referrals as well. But again, if you want to become a prime and you want to get contracts, you have to bid for it as well.
Right, and I think Anna touched upon this. Just to highlight that we are always looking, the state's always looking to increase participation of certified firms. I also wanna encourage you and let you know that the program certifies every type of legal structure for your business. Meaning, if you are a sole proprietorship, meaning which means that you're working under your own name, or you have just a DBA doing business as, you can apply. If you have an LLC, you can apply. If you have a corporation, you can apply. If you have an S corporation, you can apply. The only thing you cannot be is a non-profit organization, because unfortunately, we're gonna send you a kind email back and tell you you do not qualify. So don't take it personal. Don't shoot the messengers. We're just applying the regulations here.
Or under the table. You cannot be an under the table.
Yes. If you are seeking certification for any of our programs, for all of our programs, MBE, WBE, BBE, SCBBE,
All the
DBE, ACDBE, and you are a firm, a business that it is outside of Rhode Island, let's say Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, if you are one of our neighbors or beyond, California, Texas, Tennessee, then you have to be certified in your own state first. In fact, when we see the address of your business, the first thing we're going to look in your package, it is if you have a certification of minority business enterprise in your home state. This applies for all of our programs. And Anna is going to talk a little bit about the interstate DBE, ACDBE, because that's quite interesting and different.
Yes, it is not difficult. It is the easiest process in the world, I think. So the interstate DBE and ACDBE process is very different, and it's very, very simple. So if you already hold a DBE or ACDBE certification in another state, let's say you've already certified in the state of Massachusetts, the only thing that you will have to do, it's very simple. It's about 3-4 things. You have to give us a copy of your interstate certification. If you have a license, valid license for your business, a copy of your license, a copy of your, oh, you moved.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties. A copy of your, oh, I lost my thought here. Oh, a copy of your annual certification visit. I think it's an on-site visit that they do. We're requiring that now, but you can get that from your home state office. And just a 1-page. So our interstate application is a 1-page application. So rather than, I think the DBE is about 16 pages long. Rather than doing the 16 pages, it's a 1-page interstate application. It's a very, very simple process. And that's all that we require. So it's a much easier process rather than completing a whole application. But if you are a Rhode Island home-based firm, then you must complete the DBE 16-page application.
Yeah, and since Anna manages a DBE program, which is a federal program, you have to go to if you're Rhode Island based, you have to go through that long application. However, when you are seeking to get certified as a DBE in other states, then your process in other states are easier. It's the same thing when like the reverse is true. So if you're certified with us in Rhode Island, nobody in Connecticut or California or somewhere else cannot deny you because your home state already approved you in the application in other states. Let's say you became DBE in Rhode Island and you want to become DBE in Massachusetts and you do it through the interstate DBE, then it's the same process, a 1-pager for the Massachusetts program.
Correct. You only have to fill that long application once in your lifetime.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for the MBE, we do not have any interstate or reciprocity. So if you're only MBE or WBE, you have to do the full length process in Massachusetts, in Rhode Island, wherever you apply. And also, it is good to mention that if you are in a licensed industry, you have to hold a license valid for your home state if it is not Rhode Island, and you have to have that same license in Rhode Island to be able to get certified here in Rhode Island for the MBE.
Yes. So currently our application approval time it's 30 to 60 days.
Yes.
Because thanks to the infrastructure, we have received a lot of applications, which is great because we're going to have a lot of, DB and MB firms that are going to take advantage of all of the infrastructure money that it's coming in and infrastructure things that are happening great in our Rhode Island. It's wonderful. It's going to be great. And this is why we're doing this. We want everybody to take advantage of all of the great things that are happening and things are changing quick. So we encourage everybody to apply because we need a lot of different firms, and we want to have all the necessary firms to be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that are coming. And that's why we're doing all of this. And so we provide technical assistance, and we have multiple workshops throughout the year. And I know my colleague Anthony mentioned earlier in this workshop that we're having another one to fill out the application, you know, to step by step to show you how to fill out our applications. So we're going to have that later on, I think in May, and I think Molly put it in the chat. Okay.
Yes, and lastly, that 30 to 60-day process time assumes that your application was completed and it was nothing missing. If we have to reach out to you because you missed, I don't know, your resume, then that might take longer depending on how soon you respond, things like that.
And that includes a site visit.
Site visit, we have to go to your business and conduct a quick interview, and we get the tour of your business. It's just fun. I love it because it's my opportunity to actually see the owners and meet people and see other human beings and other adults, which is great. Yeah. Annual updates.
Yeah.
Once a firm is approved, yay, you are approved. You are MBE or DBE or any of the BEs certified. You do not need to apply for recertification. However, you are required annually in Rhode Island to provide an annual update information, which includes a no change affidavit, which includes your recent certification or updated certification from out of state, if you are an out of state firm, and your previous year's tax return for your business. So if you are an LLC, I would require the Schedule C to see how your business did. If you are a corporation, then we need that, I think it's 1180, which says the gross receipt. And then you have to, in that no change affidavit, you have to just let us know if there are any changes to ownership, amount of employees, etc. But it's very easy. It's a short process. It's not 15 pages, but you do have to do it annually. Otherwise, you may not be up to date. And then when opportunities arise and you realize that your letter is expired, then you will not be able to bid on projects because your certification is not updated. All right. And now we're going to give you our contact information and introduce you to members of the team that are not here. So these are our contact information. Kate Brody is the administrator, our supervisor of the program. And that's the information that she has, that we have for her there. Elvis Ruiz is our colleague as well. You can see the information there. We all work for the same division. And then Anna information is at the bottom. So feel free to email Anna or I with any questions or anything that you need from us, and we'll be happy to assist.
Yes.
And I think that concludes our presentation, and now we'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Okay, so I'll feed you some of the questions in the chat. How can you get help for the bidding process once you've been MBE or WBE certified?
So yes, but it's not from our office. There are resources at the Department of Purchasing of Rhode Island. They have resources there, videos and things like that. And also there is a program at Commerce called PTAC that also helps businesses and guide businesses with bidding and business proposals and how to go about that process. Yes, there is help out there, but it's not from our office.
So what we do is when you get certified, you know, we send you a very nice email like, yay, congratulations, you've been certified. And then we provide you those links that you can access those videos and the link where you can register with the Division of Purchases, and access this video to learn how to register, and access this website, you can go to be able to register step by step, and we give you those links and those those referrals so that you can access that.
And one thing I'll say on my end, when I'm doing hiring, generally RISCA is hiring smaller levels of funding, so we don't have to go through the full bidding process, but we do through purchasing. So we're doing more direct hiring, but we do, when we pay anybody more than $600, have to fill out a form to say we got 3 quotes, and one of those quotes must be, or it's asked of us to be from an MBE or WBE certified entity. So for RISCA, that's things like graphic design, video editing, all of those sort of things. It also applies to our public art programs. Okay.
Somebody asked in the chat if they can have the contact information. Put it on the screen again.
So what for-profit industries are y'all encouraging to apply, and does it include those who provide services? So the person asking does consulting work.
Yes, yes. Yes. We have a lot of consulting firms that are certified. Like I said at the beginning, we encourage all industries to apply, because it's not only for construction, but it's for anything that the state puts money in. So everything that's goods and services that the state money is involved, there has to be a participation of businesses.
So for example, RISCA recently hired a local firm to come do some strategic planning for us. That firm, we wanted to hire a DBE, MBE certified, WBE, MBE certified. So it's all sorts of things. Can we get help filling out the application?
Yes. Of course you can. Yes. Yeah, so we offer technical assistance. So whether you need virtual, in person, any type of assistance you need, we're here to help you. So we do workshops, where we do one-on-one, virtual, in person, whatever you need.
And adding to that, like we said in the presentation, it is a free process. You don't have to pay any fees. So I would encourage people to try to utilize the free resources. First, there are people that get a little desperate and they pay somebody. That is your own decision. But I just want to remind you that the state does not charge to get certified.
Okay, this is a question that I think I can probably answer. Is there anyone available to help switch an LLC from Massachusetts to Rhode Island in order to apply for an MBE? But if y'all want to take that, I can probably answer that question.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, but it's probably not from these folks. You'll want to check out places like the Rhode Island Small Business Development Center located at URI, Center for Women in Enterprise, is that their name? CWE would be a great contact. SCORE has folks, and then Commerce as well. So it's the small business resources rather than these folks for the MBE certification. Okay, do I have to have a business license to be eligible for this program?
Depends on the industry. Are you in a licensed industry? Are you an engineer? Are you a lawyer? So if you're in a licensed industry, yes. It would be bad to certify a dentist, for example, that doesn't have a license, or a doctor that does not have a license.
But someone who makes incredible jewelry does not have to have a business license in the state.
Yeah.
Yes, it is free to be certified as MBE, WBE, and their state government folks that you're talking to right now to help you with the process in the same way that I help you with RISCA grants. Don't pay somebody.
And we can do it online. You don't even have to send it in the mail anymore. You don't have to pay for a stamp. We can send you everything through your email.
Is it a rolling program or are there annual deadlines to apply?
No, you can apply anytime.
Anytime.
Is it necessary to switch? I'll take this one too. Is it necessary to switch from an LLC? Can you have an LLC and an MBE? So LLC is your firm entity status, which is totally separate from getting the minority business enterprise certification. So the certification is something an LLC can get, but it's not its own business structure in the way an LLC is.
And regardless of the structure, you can apply. If you are LLC, corporation, sole proprietorship, you can apply to the program.
I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, and performer. Do I need to have a license? No. That's not a licensed field in the state of Rhode Island. In the past, I have found local small business resources unable to help with arts-based businesses. Have they improved? That's an ongoing process. I can help you reach out to specific folks if you contact me, because I'm sort of I'm working with the small business resource folks to get more micro sole proprietor friendly and also more arts friendly. So, and that actually vastly improved during the pandemic. For example, I now have a resource at Commerce Rhode Island who runs an artist, is an artist and runs an artist business as her, I don't want to say side hustle because it's her passion, but she also works at Commerce. So I'm finding those people in those places that can actively help. So yes, it's getting better, but it's not magic yet. And I can help you too. Great. Okay. We've run out of questions in the chat, y'all.
Oh, great. I wanna. Oh.
Yes. Do I reach out to a specific person in your office for one-on-one help applying?
Yeah, you can reach out to any of us. And I don't want to give, now that I see everybody who's on, I want to give a shout out to our administrator, Casey Brody, who is online, and you can reach out to any of us. And if you happen to reach out to Casey, she will promptly assign you to one of us as well. So yes.
And I'll also just do a tag, because I know in your office, you are looking for videographers. So, so I'll just tag that Alberto, who asked that question, is an excellent filmmaker, Rhode Island-based filmmaker. Okay.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Insurance has been a barrier entering the bidding process. Do you all have resources to help navigate that process?
Unfortunately, our office we can only help you with the certification process. That's more a bidding situation, that's with purchasing. So we might have resources that can help with links, things like that, but we don't directly help with insurance.
And then I'll say at Riska, Molly D, who deals a lot more with insurance needs because she focuses on public art, knows a lot more about that, but we are planning, because that's a barrier to a ton of people in the art world. We're finding it to be very complex, and it's very, there's not simple solutions. So we're working on a future webinar about insurance for artists. Yes. Will we have access to the slides? Can I send the slides to people in a follow-up email?
We will send you a version of the slides.
Perfect.
You can edit that.
So yes, I will send the slides out. Where can we find the applications?
Great question. In our website, which I'm gonna try to find right now and put it in the chat. In our website, you can download the application. And as my colleague Anna said, you now, once you reach out to us, you can tell us we're ready to apply, and we will send you a secure email where you can put all of your information, because we realize we ask for sensitive information. We want your information to be secured. Let's put this link in the chat. You can download the application right there.
Once you're ready, send us an email, let us know, and then we'll be able, like he said, to send you the secure link, and you'll be able to upload that in there and send it back to us securely. So you don't have to send it in the mail, and it doesn't have to get lost. You don't have to pay for the stamp anymore.
And then I'm going to additionally drop in the chat the link to the Small Business Development Center. They have a very small staff, and I know that they want to serve more artists. I've talked to them. If we need support to apply, do you suggest applying with our best info first and then follow up to meet and review, or to set up a meeting to help fill out before submitting?
I think that's a preference thing. Personally, I'd rather you go and fill out as much as you can, so then I can help you fill in the gaps. Because that's what I prefer. How about you, Anna?
I don't mind if you want to give me a call, if you want to set up a virtual meeting in person. It's your preference, like Anthony said. We really don't mind.
Okay, fill it out and submit it, or fill it out and then review with y'all and then submit it?
Oh, no. Review before submitting. That's your best bet, because that way we can flag anything that you may be missing, and that can shorten your process time.
And yes, I can make introductions for sure to people with small business support. And I know there's one insurance person that Molly D really likes that does a lot of public art and artists that she can connect you with. And then I'm getting some questions about grants for RISCA. So I'm just going to drop our latest blog post in the chat that goes over all of the grants that we have open now and ways to sign up for a one-on-one meeting with me for the grants. If you want to talk about small business stuff, you can just email me and we'll set up some meetings in other ways. I'm working on sort of streamlining my small business artist-specific business technical assistance, but that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
I think we hit all of the questions.
Great. So anything you need, make sure to, anytime you need us, if you call us, always follow up with an email. We're always doing workshops. We're always out and about doing site visits, and it's always good to email us. If you email us and you want to CC the whole team, go for it. One of us is always going to answer you. That's the best thing to do. I always tell everybody, if I'm out and Anthony's here or Casey or any of us are here, one of us is going to answer you. So don't be afraid to CC us. We don't mind it.
And we prefer emails because, like today, Anna and I were both working from home, so we have access to our phone. So emails is the best way to reach out to us. This was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Make sure to participate in the next one.
Yeah.
That we have.
Yeah, and then I'll drop that link in. So in May, we are having an application walkthrough, which will include a question-by-question walkthrough of the applications. So please come to that. It'll be 2 hours. And RISCA will be pushing it out closer to that as well.
It's going to be fun. It's those 14 pages are fun.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Enjoy your Friday and have a nice weekend, everyone.
Thank you all.